Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to Daryeel kitchen, delicious food made simple. In today's video I'm going to show you this delicious recipe of lamb stew with potatoes. It's a really delicious dish served alongside rice. You can have it on its own, so I really wanted to share this with you. So let's go ahead and start with the recipe. So the first thing that we need is our meat, and I have some lamb chops which is mixed. You can just ask your butcher to do that for you. And then after that, for the seasoning, of course, some black pepper, turmeric, some salt, vegetable seasoning, and a little bit of cumin powder. And then I also need some potatoes, which I have chopped them into chunk size. And then you also need some onions, just slice them thinly, some peppers, little bit of oil, fresh coriander, and garlic as well. And we also need some lemon and chili, which is totally optional. I have here some cold water, and that's all for the ingredients. And then the next thing, all you need to do is getting a large pot. You just want to add all the meat in there and then tip all the water, add some lemon. Once you add all the lemon, you just want to go ahead and add some of the garlic. I'm going to add half of the garlic, and I'm going to use the rest for later on. And you will need to do the same for the spices. You're going to add some now, and then we're going to add the rest later on. And the reason I like to do this is just because now the meat is going to cook with a lot of water, and then later on, once everything is reduced, you want to add a little bit more seasoning just to make sure that the meat still has good flavors and good seasoning. And then what I'd like to do is just mix the rest of the spices and then just set aside for later on to be used. Once we've done that, all we need to do is add our fresh coriander and then just give everything a good mix. And then we're going to cover the pots, and then literally all we're going to do is cook this for at least good 40 minutes on high heat. Just occasionally come in between and just give it a good mix just to make sure the water hasn't reduced. And then we'll come back. I'll show you later on how it looks. So the meat has been cooking now for about 40 minutes, and all I'm going to do next is we're going to add our potatoes. Really important that you chop the potatoes quite chunky, because otherwise they will become too mushy really fast and they will cook. So I like to cook the potatoes for about 10 to 15 minutes just to get them to a nice tender. And then what we're going to do next is I'm going to take them out, because I want to slightly braise the meat. So you just want to take all the potatoes out, and then we're also going to drain the remaining broth that's in there. Normally when I cook meat, I like to cook rice alongside, so I would use the broth to cook the rice, and this is the secret ingredient to a perfect Somali rice. So we're going to let the potatoes sit aside, and then let's drain the remaining broth out. Next, what we're going to do is now getting a large pot. You just want to add some oil in there, and then we're going to add the sliced onions. And then after that, you just want to saute the onions for about 3 minutes, and then we're going to add the meat next. The reason I like to do this method is I feel like when you cook the meat in water, you've already it's been cooking for a while, so now you want to add more flavor into it. So what we're going to do now is add our cooked meat into the pot, and then give everything a good mix. And then after that, we're going to add our garlic that we left earlier. And then next you want to add some red peppers. Give everything a good mix. And then once we've done that, we're going to add our remaining spices that we left as well. And then we're going to add some fresh coriander. And then finally, the other great thing that I like to do is adding a little bit of the broth that we left earlier, just to give a little bit of like a liquid, just to allow everything to mix. And then after we've done that, give everything a good mix, and then we're going to add our potatoes. Because the potatoes are already cooked, this process, all you need to do is about a good 10 minutes, and then that's our stew almost done. So just wanted to show you guys how the meat is so nice and soft, and you can see it's just almost falling apart. And then once it reaches that stage, so it's been cooking now about 40 minutes, another 10 minutes, and then the final 10 minutes we just want to add the potatoes back, and then just gently mix everything together. Try not to over mix, as you otherwise will break the potatoes apart, and that's not what we want. And then just cook on a really low heat for about 10 minutes, just to allow the potatoes to become slightly soft as well. And then we're done. That's the dish done. You can get your rice ready in the meantime. You can get a nice bread, or get the recipe of my buns that I've shared a few weeks ago. You can get that. Will be really delicious to go with this recipe. And that's our meat all done. It's got like just a little bit of gravy, and it's so delicious. Really easy recipe that you can definitely make it. The other thing is you can add any type of vegetables that you like. And just before serving, I just like to add a little bit of fresh onion and some peppers, and that's it. Our delicious lamb stew is all done and is ready to be enjoyed now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this recipe. If you have, don't forget to press that like button. And also, if you like to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe and press the notification button so you can see whenever I post. And until we meet next time, Assalamu alaikum, and enjoy the rest of Ramadan.